Francesco Abbruzzino with the Suncoast News and Scoop. This next story I found interesting. I found it interesting because it's something that the City of Venice has talked about on how to get businesses to come and build their home here in the city, within the city limits. And one of the things that comes into play is affordable housing. So both of those are covered on this. We recently lost, I think it was Turvis Tumblr. Well, we lost PGT. They said basically it came out that the mayor would not talk to them, would not deal with them, and it was difficult. Fine side here in the city of Venice. So they opened a new facility with 250 some odd employees down in Fort Myers due to that. Then I think about 2 months ago, I believe it was Turvis Tumblr said, we're opening a facility in Northport. Again, I asked behind the scenes, and it was basically alluded to me that it was fine side again. That was basically didn't help that issue at all. So they don't need a lot of enticements, but they're getting some. The Northport plans to entice businesses and try to target them to move into the city, and they're doing this by reducing their impact fee by 50%, which is pretty significant. They voted on this. It was a 4-to-1 vote, and they're going to move through with it and offer this impact fee as an incentive or discounted impact fee to move there. Now, there was the issue with provision for affordable housing and an incentive program that City Commissioner Debbie McDowell brought up. She wanted to amend it to include that incentive for the affordable housing and some endeavors such as corporate headquarters, hotels, creative industries, and stuff like that. She wanted the incentivize it so that they can try to attract more of those people. As we all know, the area of affordable housing is through the roof. I see it constantly. People are writing me. I actually have a friend that was kicked out of her place, and she couldn't believe how much rents went up, and she was probably kicked out because they wanted to increase the rent. But basically, that fell flat. She was the only one that pushed for the affordable housing, and nobody else voted for it on the Northport Council. And my understanding was, well, this was a meeting to drive in business, not affordable housing. But as Deb, I believe, stated, how can you drive in business if they can't get the employees through affordable housing? That's going to be an issue. But the city manager assured her that it's not being left out, and that Jeremy Fletcher, who's the city manager, was planning incentives for affordable housing. Not sure what kind of incentives. I know this is something that the city of Venice has grappled with constantly. It's a struggle. I know a lot of local businesses. I'll take Finn's. My buddy Justin over at Finn's. He does a thing where I don't know if the rent is in their name, or if they provide the rent checks. But bottom line is they're offering a lot of their employees affordable housing via covering some of the rent, covering all the rent, maybe renting the places and then having their employees stay there. I've never talked specifically to Justin or Nick Pachotto about it. I can. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll cover that in a video interview with them, just see how they're doing it. Because I think it'd be interesting, because I think that's a huge issue that a lot of other corporations maybe could support, because I know the cities, everyone says affordable housing, but the cities, it's a struggle to get that going through. Then they talked about some other incentives. Basically, this one was more about the developers. What was this? Yeah, in this article they covered, and I'll put a link to the article. It's the Herald Tribune. They always do these in-depth articles, and they're pretty good at writing them. Very liberal, but they do a good job at writing their articles. And they talked about how some of the incentives were given out for these complexes to be built. Like they gave out 50. I think it was Northport gave 50,000 towards the Palmport 126 unit. Building or apartment complex that's going up. They gave 50,000 towards the construction of the Arbor Park, which is 136 units. But here's the problem, and I see this all the time. Boone does this all the time, and God bless him. He's taking advantage of the loophole, and he's using that affordable housing. And they'll come up, and he always pitches things as affordable housing. We're going to allocate X amount for affordable housing, or it's going to be affordable. Well, what's affordable? And that's when you get in the tough area. Their definition of affordable isn't what the average individual out there would deem affordable. But they're using that little language as saying, we're affordable housing to get their homes pushed through. These places, I'd have to check the rent, but I can almost guarantee you they're not affordable. A lot of times they say when they're targeting affordable, they're looking at people that are making, and And I heard this argument once. I think it was like 40 to 50,000, and that was one person working, if memory serves me right. But the average individual, so a lot of the individuals out there are making 26,000, 27,000, and it's a struggle. And I see it with my own kids. I'm basically the welfare state for them because it's so expensive out there. They said they do have some limited impact relief for the housing. Sarasota County's pushed that through. The city of Sarasota's pushed it through, but Northport really hasn't because it just hasn't been something on the table. So we'll see what comes of this. This is an interesting article. Like I said, it's very in depth. There's a lot more, and I'm just glazing over it. So I encourage you to click the link. I don't think this is one of the ones where you have to be a subscriber. I believe it was one where you can click and you get the 5 views per month. So check it out. The link should be above this video. This has been Francesco Abbruzzino with the Suncoast News and Scoop.